if you do work with straps, it's going to give your hands a little bit of a rest in terms of the hand care and the skin. But the straps are going to enable you to go heavy. They're going to enable you to mimic what you're doing with your footwork, moving with a high percentage weight. It's going to promote like you. I'm a big fan of like super maximal farmers for actually promoting a good trap position and neck position, because it teaches you to engage your lower traps. And you see a lot of people novices and beginners at comps who are like really big and really strong, really muscular, and they're doing the farmers and they look like this. Whereas get to a weight that's actually really, really challenging for them, like further down the line in terms of grip, then holding your like a lot of tension in your upper traps isn't going to be efficient. So actually loosening off your upper traps and getting the lower traps engaged is going to be good. And also it's going to pay dividends in terms of making the pickup a little bit easier and less range of motion too. Strongman and other sports, risk versus reward. So you've got to prioritize like what you want to do. Do you like decide whether are you a performance athlete or are you a participation athlete? Are you doing it just for fun? Are you doing it for like because it keeps your life balance? It really contributes to your life balance in terms of makes you feel good. You can do other stuff alongside it. You play for leisure. You do it for a laugh. Like you enjoy seeing people down the gym who are training towards a similar thing. Or are you more of a performance athlete? Are you going to kind of do whatever it takes to get as high as you can in terms of competition, placing? Like neither are better than the other. They're both fantastic. But if you're in the participation domain, then I feel like playing other sports is just absolutely brilliant. And if you get a bit of an injury doing strongman and you can't do strongman comp, then it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't really matter. Like just go and do your other stuff or work around the injury somehow. And whereas if you're doing it for performance and you wanted to say you compete at a national comp and you wanted to do really well, and then you wanted to also play football, play rugby, play other sports that come with the risk, then you just got to get your expectation right. The fact that that it does come with this risk. Like that's a reason why I decided to specialize in strongman like 4 or 5 years ago. Like I loved. I played football for 11 years, like captain of a local side. Absolutely loved it. Played every Saturday, completely immersed in it. Played tennis all the way through the winter months for like probably about 16 years. Yeah, probably about 16 seasons. Absolutely loved it. But I realised that I had a bit of potential I had these goals within Strongman that fit in with the rest of my life, and I wanted to kind of elevate myself, and did a bit of powerlifting, a bit of weightlifting. And I got to the point where I was sick of being like I used to use it as like a bit of a, I suppose, a guard, I suppose. I'm not sure. Like I felt like I used to, it was almost like a defense mechanism. Like looking back, I thought it was like my excuse to not be that good or my excuse to fail. I used to be scared of failing, I suppose. But that was my thing, that I was like, oh, well actually, I'm not like if I had a rugby football match, oh, well, I'm playing tennis on this day. Like I'd make out that I was better at tennis or like better at powerlifting, or if I do rubbish at powerlifting, so then I'd be like, oh no, but I'm playing football tomorrow. So it was kind of like an excuse thing of like I was scared to go all in on anything, I suppose. But then I decided that, you know what, it was such a big decision for me to quit the football, and quit the tennis. But then my training just went up another level, because I remember like trying to train on Mondays and Tuesdays after playing football on a Saturday. I was just absolutely wrecked. My lower body couldn't get any training in whatsoever. Like my knees were battered, and that was just every week. That was like without getting like a bigger injury or anything. So yeah, you've just got to decide what you're doing, Nick. Because if you're in the participation, you're just doing it for fun, then scaling is a really good option, where you just kind of, right, well actually I'll just back off this a little bit. I'll back off training a little bit because I'm going to let the football season pan out. We've got 4 or 5 more games, then I can go back to putting more into my strongman training or whatever, and then I can kind of play another thing alongside it, whatever. And it just can be a beautiful way to go through. But if you're wanting to say maximising what you want to do in, like look flip it on its head. If you want to be the best footballer, and then you're going out doing like say heavy deadlifts every Monday and getting little niggles there for chasing like comp targets for strongman, like you'd say, well, go and focus on your football, wouldn't you? And basically scale the gym training to support with the sport performance that you want to focus on. So I think the same things with the strongman training. Like back off a little. Get, like can you, if you truly want to be your best at strongman, like backing off and could you go down? Could you just go down like say rugby training or play five-a-side at football or just have play leisurely almost, just to reduce the recovery demand, so you can put more into the thing that you want to specialize in. Personally, I can't, because I'm like all in or not. Like even to the point where I'd go like in training, like nobody would want to like play against me in training at football because I'd just go and wipe everyone out, because like I couldn't scale we just need to back off a little bit, like because it's only like if I go and play five-a-side now, I'll just go and like just too hard, and then the next day I'm like, oh, my legs are sore, or my knees are sore, or whatever. So for me, I had to make the decision where I just knocked it on the head, and then since then, obviously, I've done a lot better within strongman. But I would say to people who are younger, who are listening to this, like that, the longer that you can delay the specialization, the better, I think. So the longer that you can keep stringing these along and you're keeping mentally engaged in, it's ticking all your mental boxes. Like you're still enjoying playing your football, your hockey, whatever, your strongman, and you're doing it all together, and you've got the dose right. Like just keep it going for as long as you can, because I do believe the benefits that you get from doing like a lot of the stuff that I've done well in strongman personally, like I attribute to my kind of practice of other sports, and like even like the mental aspects, the being aware of my body, like the benefits are just huge, that I didn't even realize at the time when I was doing them, but I look back now and I think just amazing. So obviously the longer that you can delay this, the more experience that you're gaining in those kind of things. So also as well, like if you can keep some kind of leisure activity in and take away the competitive aspect, but take it down to leisure, the benefits of why exercising in these different planes of motion are just absolutely brilliant. So like that's the thing. If you're just doing strongman or just doing lifting, like you see even a lot of guys who train strongman who are they're just doing deadlift and log really, and occasionally do a few moving events sometimes. But realistically, they're just moving in that kind of sagittal plane of the feet are in the same position and they're just producing force in one direction. Whereas you get them to move like even on one leg, you get them to sprint or you get them to sprint and land in a different direction, or they rotate, or people struggle. And not only to do it to a performance perspective when it does come up in strongman, but also from a recovery standpoint. And I don't just mean in the gym and training, and you're likely to getting injured when you're doing your lifts. But I mean, like how many people do you know that kind of lifting big deadlifts, and then they feel great, and then the next day they're lifting some shopping out of the car and the back goes, or they hurt themselves doing something seemingly innocuous, but basically because they're getting out of this kind of specialist range of motion that they're just so specialized in, and into a different plane, and they're standing in a mixed stance, and they're reaching down with one arm, that they haven't got that, they've lost that kind of conditioning and exposure benefit. So yeah, it's definitely beneficial. So it's just getting that dose right for your context,